Hi everybody, and welcome to another of our little videos to show you around the plot and the garden. As ever, if you've got any comments, if you'd like to share with us what you're doing at the moment, so there's not much else we can do but gardening and shopping, I guess. But whatever you're doing, do please comment below. But I'm going to take you and show you what's going on in the Polytunnel and the greenhouse at the moment. Okay, well, first things to show you, some lettuces that I planted a little while ago now. Let's have a look. It was on 9th of February, and these are winter imperial, and I chose a winter variety thinking that the weather was still really cold, and perhaps they would be a little hardier, and they're growing on really nicely. So they were started off in cell trays and then planted out. So winter imperial, and looking forward to some of those in a little while. Next to those we've got some broccoli rabe. I had a lot of success with this last year, and you know, broccoli, you plant it, 9 months later you harvest it, perhaps even longer than that. Well, broccoli rabe, quite the opposite. It grows so quickly that you know, you blink and you miss it. You really do have to keep on top of it. Couple of problems with pests, and in the polytunnel I do get a lot of flea beetle, but at the moment I think we're okay. There's a few holes in that leaf there, but I'm not sure. I think that was probably just a passing slug, and there's another plant over there which is in the same sort of boat, but other than that, not too bad. So you could be harvesting that within about 6 weeks of planting, so it's probably high time I got some more seeds in. As the summer comes on, as it gets hotter in the polytunnel, then they bolt far too quickly actually, so we need to plant them outside then, but early crops in the polytunnel are pretty good. On the other side, I'll just swing you around. Got a few sowings here. Again, in the polytunnel, we've got some salad leaf mix here, which are coming on quite nicely. We can just have a look. Yep, we've got quite a nice mixture of seeds, mustards, and all sorts of things coming up there. Probably a little bit more rocket, but yeah, a nice mixture which I'm hoping are going to be very tasty in probably even just a month's time. Next to those we've got some radish cherry bell. Experimented with these. The soil in the polytunnel is a little bit well, very dry. Obviously over winter it tends to dry out a lot, which is, despite all the rain we get, obviously in polytunnel doesn't get any. So very, very dry, so I have trouble re-wetting it at the start of the year. So it's not in great condition, although it's got mulch over the top, but that tends to get quite dry. So I've covered the seeds with vermiculite, really soaked the soil, then covered with vermiculite rather than the rather lumpy sort of mulchy surface that we've got in here. They're trying to do no dig in the polytunnel, and it works really well, but it does mean that seedlings, sometimes you have to be a little bit careful when you're sowing, a little bit lumpy. So yeah, use vermiculite, it seems to be working well. Next to those we've got 2 lots of carrots, Amsterdam forcing, and this is one that yeah, is ideal for early sowing, because it's you know, it is intended for forcing, as its name suggests, early in the year, so you get some nice early roots. That's not up yet, and typical with carrots, really quite slow, so we'll have to come back to that and show you those a bit later, and hopefully I will have something come up to show you. Next to those we've just got some spring onions which have been overwintering, which was just a bit of an experiment really, and now the weather's improving, they are growing quite quickly, but only a handful left there. Been harvesting those, they've done quite well. And next to the spring onions, got a packet of mixed lettuce, so we've got some oak leaf cos in there, butterhead I think, and a lovely red leaf lettuce over the back there. These were sown probably October time last year, and it's always a bit of a gamble over wintering lettuce, but I thought I'd give it a go. You can see there's a few gaps there, and that's where they've just rotted off over winter, but I was kind of expecting to lose a few. But since then, sort of February time, I gave them a little feed, So there's some bloodfish and bone, and a bit more water as the conditions have improved, and they're really coming on. So we've got some really nice oak leaf there to harvest, and this is say 23rd of March that we're taking this little video, and we've got some nice lettuces to harvest, but of course they'll be harvested first, and then we've got the winter density, which are behind me, which we'll be harvesting after that. But with lettuce, we get through a lot of lettuce in our family, so I shall be sowing rather probably every 3 or 4 weeks. There'll be a batch coming along, and they can go outside obviously, but yeah, just for now, in the protection of the polytunnel. And it really is worth, I think it's proved that it's worth sowing some really late in the year to overwinter, if you've got a bit of space, a bit of covered space, so you get some early crops in the spring.